Hello, boys and girls. It's time for Little Lions Preschool. Let's start out with our not days of the week, months of the year song. Can you stand up with me? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Then we all turn around. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Then we all sit down. Thanks for singing with me, boys and girls. You ready to go over to our calendar? I see we're still in the month of May. That's the one. I see a 5 from yesterday. Do you know what comes after 5? Did you say 6? Curl around and tuck it in to make the number 6. There's our number 6 there. Let's go ahead and count. It's not too far for good counters like you. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, look at this, only a little while left. We have Mother's Day on Sunday and then a bus driving away. We are almost done with preschool, only a few days left. Could you sing the days of the week with me now and we can figure out what day it is? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And when we come up from the 6th, do you see a Wednesday? That's what I see. Let's zip over here and find the matching Wednesday. Oh, there it is. It matches. Let's go ahead and take that over to our calendar. Today is Wednesday, May 6th. All right, let's take a peek outside. Weather is next. What do we have going on with our weather today? Oh my, a beautiful, clear, sunny day. Let's see if I have a sunny tag. I sure do. Sunny it is. Let's go ahead and put that up here. That sunny tag, that fell down on me another time. That's sunny tag. I guess he doesn't want to be on the wall today. Our seasons, you can tell, we are in May now. We have scooted through spring. We are halfway into spring. That's why it's so beautiful out. It's not too cold and snowy and it's not too hot. Spring is right in the middle of those beautiful days. All right, can you find your right hand and put it on your heart for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks for joining me in that, boys and girls. Let's go ahead and get started on our Bible story for today. We talked about this one a little last time. It happens after Jesus rose from the dead. And after he had been showing himself to all of his friends and disciples, lots of people had the joy of seeing Jesus alive again. He didn't stay dead after he died for our sins. Nope, he's stronger than death, and he came back to life and showed himself to many people. Well, 40 days after he came back from the dead, it was time for him to go back into heaven. And he asked his disciples to meet him on a hill outside of Jerusalem, and they did that. And he gave them some wonderful promises. He said, my time on earth is all done. His disciples kind of thought maybe Jesus was there to be their earthly ruler. And he said, nope, my time on earth is done. You're going to wait in Jerusalem until the Holy Spirit comes to you. And then I have a special job for you, disciples. I want you to go out into all the world. I want you to tell everybody, not just one type of people, not just men, not just children, not just women. I want everybody to hear how I died on the cross and took care of their sins and rose again, and they have heaven waiting. And then Jesus had a neat promise for them. He said, disciples, I will be with you always, to the very end of the age. I won't be with you for a short time or even a long time. I will be with you always. He will be with us in spring and summer and winter and fall, when times are good, when times are tough. Jesus is with us. And then an amazing thing happened. Now that Jesus rose from the dead, he had his God powers back. When he was here on earth, he gave up his godly side so that he could experience what it was to be a man, and he could be truly tempted, just as you and I are tempted by our sins. But when he rose from the dead, he took back on his powers. And this is an amazing thing. While Jesus was standing there, he started rising up into the air. And his disciples just stood there and looked. They were amazed what was going on. And Jesus was giving them that wonderful promise, I will be with you always to the very end of the age. And Jesus rose up and up and up until a cloud covered him over. And still the disciples were just amazed and watching. And suddenly, there were two men standing beside them. But it wasn't men, it was two angels. And the angels said, disciples, why are you staring up into the sky? Jesus has gone back to heaven, and he will come back again someday. And now we know that Jesus is waiting for us in heaven. And yet he is with each of us every day. How can that be? I don't know. It's too big for my brain, but that's because I have a people brain. I have a human brain. God is much more amazing. So he can do something like that, be in heaven and with all of us all the time. Oh, it's a good thing we have someone wonderful, a God that can protect us and be with us all the time. Oh, what a wonderful assurance that is. Our Bible verse talked exactly about that. This is the promise that Jesus gave his disciples right before he went back to heaven. Do you remember it? It goes like this. Surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. And that comes in the Bible in a book called Matthew, chapter 28, verse 20. Can you try it with me one more time? Can you get your finger out and point at the words too? Surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. Matthew 28, 20. Oh, what a great promise. Oh, hey, did you notice we talked about this the other day? T-H-E, the. That's a word that you can recognize now, and you will see it all over the place in so many of your books. T-H-E, the. It doesn't make any sense. Nope, can't sound it out. You just have to learn T-H-E, the. Surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. That's a word you can look out for. But mostly I wanted you to learn this so that you could remember God's wonderful promise to you. I actually have a project that I'd like to show you that also involves that Bible verse. Would you like to come see it? This is one that if I sent you a folder, you have this at your house already, and if not, you might have all the things you need to make it. Oh, can you tell what this is supposed to be? That looks like a big circle. And if you know that if you go out in outer space, our world looks kind of like this. It's got land, and it's got lots of oceans. So this kind of looks like our world, Earth. The land shapes are a little different, but that's okay. You know what it's supposed to be. And there's a Bible verse on here. Yup, it's our Bible verse. Surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. Matthew 28, 20. Here's how you make this project. I used a coffee filter. I don't know what kind of coffee pot your parents have. They might have one that used the little pods, but they might have these coffee filters from a coffee maker. And if so, you can just press one down a little bit, and then you're going to use just your green and your blue today. And you're going to use some watercolors. You got to dip it in and get a lot of green going. And you're going to make a big section of green. Remember, watercolors only work if you go water and then into the paint and then onto the paper. So I'm trying to get lots of green watercolor on here now. Into the green again and again. So that's going to be one piece of my earth. Now I'm going to add some more earth over here, some more landforms. All right, and maybe another landform over here. You could even use a bigger brush if you wanted for a project like this. Doesn't matter, just make great big blobs of green because that's kind of what our Earth ends up looking like from outer space. All right, so after you have lots of blobs of green, you're right, you're gonna come back and you're gonna do the rest with blue. So now we're gonna take blue and we're going to fill in those extra spaces. And you just keep coloring or painting and painting and painting until your whole coffee filter is filled up. Now, I'm not going to finish this for you right now, but you can see how that would work. And the coffee filter actually kind of pulls your water out and helps it touch so that the green and the blue can both be together touching, because that's how it works on our Earth. The water comes right up to the edge of the land. All right, once it's all filled up, you're going to let it dry. And then later, when it's completely dry, you'll get a glue stick out and you'll glue on your world. And then, of course, you have your heart to cut out. Now, if you don't have this heart from me, you could make a heart and you could have someone write the passage on. And of course, remember when we're cutting, we're going to use this hand, the holding hand, to turn the paper, and we'll keep our scissors hand nice and still. Cut down and in. And the scissors hand just goes open and closed, and all the turning happens with my holding hand. So my scissors point forward while the paper gets turned round and round, and you can get your heart cut out like that. And this, as you learn to turn it nice and smooth, you'll have a nice curved heart instead of a choppy looking heart. And there it is. You'll have your heart with your Bible verse ready to glue onto the world, and that can help you remember that no matter where you go, no matter how old you are, Jesus is with you all the time. Oh, what a great promise. All right, so that is a project you can do later today. But right now, you could take a pause and do your project, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the next thing. We are learning a new letter today. Let's look at our alphabet and see what that letter might be. You might have already guessed it. Let's take a look and see. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Well, did you guess we were moving on to the letter V? You are correct. Last time we learned the U with up, umbrella. And we talked about how Q and U are best friends. They have to hang out together all the time. But today is V. The V says V. The V says V. Every letter makes a sound. The V says V. Now, if you're going to make a V, this is one of those letters where the big one and the little look exactly the same. You just slant down, slant up. Can you do that with your finger? Slant down, slant up. That's the letter V. One more time. Slant down, slant up. You know how to make a letter V now. I have a couple of items in my can today. Let's see some things that make the letter V, or start with the letter V. Oh, this is a very helpful tool around the house. It is a vacuum, and it even makes kind of a V sound. Is that kind of what your vacuum sounds like? Maybe a little louder, but a vacuum starts with a V. Oh, this is beautiful. Can you tell what this is? You put flowers in it. Vase. We'll see one of these in a little bit when we check on our experiment. Vase starts with V. Ooh, deliveries sometimes come in these. This is a van. To your door with your delivery. Van starts with V. Oh, and this is a very special instrument. Violin. We're going to talk more about a violin in just a moment. Violin starts with V. You might look at this and say, there's a lot of things in that pictures. I see peppers and carrots and artichokes and cauliflower, corn, squash, all kinds of things. What do you call it when you talk about all those things together? Vegetables. Vegetables starts with a V. Very good. That's all I have for you today for the V things in my can. But I have another V item I would like to show you. I said we were going to talk about that violin. Well, I have a little song I want to sing with you, but first, before I sing the song, I want to show you the instrument that it's about. I mentioned that we were going to talk a little more about a violin. Well, look at this. I have a song here, and it says, violet, violin. Well, first of all, have you ever heard of the color violet? Maybe you have. There's a flower named violet, and what color is that flower? It's purple. Purple and violet are the same color. So this crayon here, you could call violet or you could call purple. So if you have this page at home, you could look through it and find all the V's you could find. I see a V and another V and some more V's, and you can go all the way through and find as many V's as you can. And then it says, I wish I were a violet violin. Now, I've never actually seen a violet violin. I've never seen a purple one, but I do have a violin to show you. And I want to show you how a violin works because it works differently than many other instruments. It's called a string instrument. So when you have an instrument like piano, if you want to make it make sound, you just poke at the keys and they make noise. It's very simple to try to play a piano. It's hard to make it sound good, but it's simple to try it. But a violin is a much more delicate instrument. I had my first violin lesson this morning. Pastor Lightman was showing me how to do it. And the inside of this case, it's almost a violet color. It's a little bit darker, maybe more of a burgundy, but it's interesting that our violet violin song almost has a violet color in there. So when you have a violin, it's called a string instrument because it has strings that run up and down it. And you use those strings in order to produce the sound. And it uses two parts. A piano is all just one item, whereas a trumpet or a trombone and a clarinet, all one thing. But anytime you have a stringed instrument, you will have both the instrument, the violin or the viola, or different things like that, and you will have a bow. This is the bow. When you use it, you take the bow and you pull it across the strings in a long motion like that. And the different strings sound different. This is the highest one. So a violin has long, smooth motions to it. And the low ones are top. So that's very basic how a violin works. And I wanted to show you that. Very gentle. We don't want to break Pastor's violin. He plays this one. I wanted to show you that so that when we sing our violin song, we can move a little bit more like a violin. With a trombone or a trumpet, you might march a little bit more. And with a piano, you might pound a little bit more. It's a percussion instrument. With a violin, it's a smooth motion. So when we sing our song, we can say, oh, I wish I were a violet violin. You can hold out one arm like you're holding your instrument and pretend this is your bow. Oh, I wish I were a violet violin. Then I'd be purple and I'd play. I'd make music every day. Oh, I wish I were a violet violin. Yeah, can you make that nice smooth motion of a violin? Those stringed instruments have that beautiful flowing sound to them. Although when you play little short fast notes, they can sound staccato too. All right, let's sing it one more time, and then I have a V project to make with you. Ready? Let's try it together. Can you get out your violin? Hold your arm out, hold your instrument in place with your chin, and get out your bow. Oh, I wish I were a violet violin. Oh, I wish I were a violet violin. Then I'd be purple and I'd play. I'd make music every day. Oh, I wish I were a violet violin. There you go. You have another instrument you can pretend to play on your own. And maybe you can think of violet next time you want to ask for the letter purple, or the color purple. You can say, could I have the violet? One more word for you to know. All right, let's take a look at our V project that I have for you. This is kind of a neat one. Another V word is volcano. And this is what your volcano is going to look like, or something like that. Of course, the top says V is for volcano. And let's see here, whose name should I write on this today? I think we'll write this name. It's called Everett. It goes like this, big E, and then it has a V, down, up. Little e goes out, up, and around. Little r, pull down, hop up, out, up, and around. And then two t's, pull down and cross it, pull down and cross it. Everett. All right, make sure you're doing your name every time so your fingers get better and better at that. Okay, I have a giant brown letter V, and I'm gonna take my scissors, I'm gonna keep my thumbs on top, and I'm gonna cut out my V so that I can make my volcano. I think you might have noticed something about my letter V on my volcano. Which way did I put it? Did you say I put it upside down? You are correct. I did, because a volcano looks a lot like that. Usually a taller hill or a mountain. Sometimes volcanoes can just flow out of cracks in the ground, like in Hawaii, but oftentimes they can be a tall mountain and have a big eruption like that. There's different kind of eruptions. They can also just flow down the side. Anyway, this is the way a V really goes. Remember we said slant down, slant up, but we're gonna use our V like this. You can glue it down. Oh, you gotta use your muscles and pop that glue stick open. And then sure enough, put some glue down each side and stick it on. Now we need some lava. The lava is the melted rock that comes out. And to make it look a little like lava, I sent you some tissue paper. And if you don't have this at home, you can find different paper. And you can just glue your pieces on. Now you can choose to glue them on going down like this, or you can actually choose to glue some of them on going up, and then you can flip them down like they're falling. So you can glue on all your pieces of lava and make a volcano. And remember that V is for volcano. And you even have a V, but you have to turn it this way to see it. All right, I have one last thing to show you, and that is our science experiments. One of them is from last time. We're checking back in, and then the other one is a new one. Here is the experiment we started last time. Do you remember we put some green coloring in our water? And then we put our flowers in it. Wait, these flowers were white. I still see a lot of white, but what do you notice happened on some of the petals? I didn't put marker on that. That's the green from down in the water. God made plants so that they would suck water up and through, and that's how they grow and stay nice. That makes their leaves grow, that makes their flowers grow. And you can see that they're doing that because it actually pulled the food coloring up too. Maybe we'll see, if they change much, I'll show them to you again on Friday and we'll see if they're even greener than this. But I love watching that, to see how God made flowers and plants and trees so wonderfully, pulling that water up through that stem. That's pretty cool. All right, I have one more experiment for you today, and it involves this cupcake. Wait a second, a cupcake's not an experiment. Nope, it's not, but here's what we're gonna do. You can start by coloring the cupcake wrapper blue and yellow. I wonder what happens if we mix blue and yellow. Do you have any idea? Well, I sent you a little package, and in this package, it looks like some white fluff and some other less fluffy. It's actually some glue, and the fluffy part is shaving cream. So if you don't have a bag like this at home from me, this is like about a tablespoon of drippy white glue. and then about a tennis ball shape of shaving cream. And you want to push most of the air out. And you'll notice I have some yellow and I have some blue. This was about 6 drops of yellow and only 2 drops of blue. I wonder what happens if I start mixing it. Now be careful not to push hard because you could pop the edges loose and then your mix is going to go all over the place. I sometimes find it's helpful to push in from the bottom and like reach in with my finger or with my thumb and mix like this. I can reach all the parts better. I want all that glue to come in there, and I want the shaving cream, and I especially want the colors to mix. Ooh, what do you see is happening? I still see some yellow, I still see some blue, but oh, what color is that starting to make? Do you see a light green forming? I do. Did you know that when you mix when you mix blue and yellow, it turns to green? Wow. So I can see my yellow, I can see my blue, but I can also see that it mixed to make green. Now is where our cupcake comes in. We are going to pretend this is some frosting for our cupcake. Now, you already colored the bottom blue and yellow, which is what we started with. I'm going to push a little bit of this down to the bottom. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to snip off just a little corner at the end. And now it's like I have a frosting bag ready to decorate. And I can take this and I can put frosting all over my cupcake like that. You can put it however you would like, but you don't want to pile it up too thick. This one might have a little more glue than it should have. It's pretty shiny. This is going to take a long time to dry. I would even recommend maybe putting a paper towel underneath it to help pull some of the moisture out. Mine took 2 days to dry last time, but then when it did dry, it stayed fluffy. And I had a fluffy cupcake. And I put a fluffy cherry on top. And this can help you remember your experiment of what happened when you mixed blue and yellow. It made green. Well, I hope you have a good day today, boys and girls, and I will see you on Friday. Bye.